So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Eazy Conversations. Thanks a lot to everyone who listened to the last episode featuring the homie Matt and I. Hope you enjoyed listening to us share our thoughts on the Maul Shadow Lord and Mandalorian and Grogu show and movie, respectively. And yeah, if you had any thoughts on either of those products, just share with us, and always down to have further discussions about those down the road. It's now for episode 186 of Eazy Conversations. I'm extremely excited, of course, to be back in the studio virtually with the homie Matt. So it's up to the people.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope you're having a great time right now. Very excited for today's episode, Eric. We do a pod like this almost every year. It's a great update on our lives and what we're up to for the summer. Can't wait to get into it. It could go any direction, and cover various topics. So I can't wait to dive into it. I'm curious to see where you want to start too. So yeah.
Same here, Matt. Always love getting into our just plans for the summer, things we want to get done. We, like you said, do this episode every year, typically around this time, and just talk about what's to come and impart some recommendations too. I think is kind of my objective with this episode today. Focus more on things that you could get into, especially in the Ottawa area. I feel like, as a former guest, Pat GB has shared, is that Ottawa kind of gets a bad rap needlessly in terms of it's the city that fun forgot. We all are on the same page on that one, that we completely disagree with that take, and hoping with this episode to do just that. So I guess first thing I want to get into in terms of stuff I want to get done this summer a little more is just in general take advantage of the events that occur outside, right? Like the different festivals, the food festivals that Ottawa is somewhat known for, and that there's always like I've just looked this up before doing the episode here: Greek Fest, Indian Fest, Lebanese Food Festival. I really feel like this is an area where I've lacked personally in the past in attending some of these different ones. Like you got your typical Rib Fest. I'm not the biggest poutine guy myself, but Poutine Fest is a big one. Beer Fest too. There was just one in Orleans, didn't end up going, but it's more that's why I want to make more of an effort to go to some of these things and explore these other parts of Ottawa that I may not be as familiar with. A lot of these things do take place downtown. That's kind of my first one off the rip, is partaking in some of these food festivals. Unfortunately, the Asian Food Fest was in May, also missed that. But we had gone in the past a few summers ago, and it was absolutely delicious. Still chasing the high of that triangular rice cake with the seaweed wrap, like that traditional like triangle that you see in these movies and anime. If you partake, and it was just absolutely delicious. Again, want more of that down the road. But yeah, that's kind of my first one. Matt, what's your experience kind of with these food festivals? Is that something that interests you? Just take on that.
No, it's definitely something that interests me. I have very limited experience with food festivals like you, Eric. You said a lot of good things here, and there's something I want to get into right after I'm done talking. A different, anyways, I'll get into it right after. But the food fest, I've only been to the Rib Fests on Spark Street and Poutine Fest, like when they have it. And normally there's poutine at Rib Fest anyway, so it's all the greasy food in those festivals. But I definitely want to make an effort to go to the cultural festivals like Lebanese, and how there was just Brazilian Fest a week or two ago. Like the different countries is what I'm getting at. Italian festival, because I feel like you're getting more than just food there. You're getting the whole culture. But my experience myself at Rib Fest is it's very overwhelming. I'm hungry, but there's only so many ribs I'm going to eat and pay for. So you walk there through 30 different rib stands, and you're like, all right, I don't know which one to get. They all say world's best ribs or winner of all these prizes. It's very overwhelming to the senses, all the signages, and we have this and we have that. And so you end up picking one, and it's generally good, but then you're like, all right, well, I didn't get to try anything else. I don't know. I would have to talk to an expert. What's the strategy here? Going on multiple days and trying different things, or getting smaller portions. I don't know myself. There's got to be a way to strategically try to sample or taste everything. I guess you could ask for samples, but I don't know if I want to be known as that guy right there, just sampling everything.
The sample abuser, yeah. Tough look.
Yeah. Yeah, but my experience has been good because it's like there's always lots of people and the atmosphere is nice, and then you're like I was on Spark Street, so it's like there's no cars anywhere, and you're just in a big, you're just walking up and down and having fun. Um, but yeah, what I wanted to talk about was like the amount of time we have, Eric, like free time. That's probably why we don't go to these festivals because we prioritize other things. And I wanted to get into that. Like this summer, I have lots of things written down that I want to do, lots of things I want to like repair or do around the house, but I know I'm not going to have time to do all of them. So it's like, how do you and I, Eric, like, how do we pick and choose what we want to do? I guess and whatever we think is more important, I guess. Like to you, I know going to golf is more appealing than going to like beer festival in Orleans at in the Shankman Square, like near there, right, Centrum. So that's the tough line we have. That's the tough. We have to decide like what we want to do this summer based on what we like more, and I think that's why I think some of those festivals go like are secondary for us, right? That's why I've never been to Blues Fest, Derek. Like, it's the same reason. So I don't know if you want to touch on that. Like, how do you manage your schedule and what you do in your free time in the summer?
Yeah, I think it's like we're just creatures of habit, right? Especially a lot of these things take place maybe at the end of the week where it's more appealing to kind of just do something that you know won't shake up your routine too much. Where, okay, I've had a long week, I just want to have like a little nine and dine and take it easy the rest of the night, even the weekend. I feel like energy level is a factor too, right? Where again, like you said, there's stuff to do around the house, so maybe stuff drops by the wayside, and we're also maybe just not aware that these things are going on. So I do think it takes some planning and committing to that mindset of no, yeah, sure, I'm a little tired right now, but let's maybe take a nap or get some pepe in my steppe and just get out there and go to the go to this festival that never really considered going to before and do it. So I completely hear you that yeah, I want to prioritize golf, but golfed so much and I do enjoy it a lot, but I do think there is value in trying some new stuff, and I do think for the most part you I want to say never, but you don't want to only a Sith deals in absolutes, but you rarely feel like it was time poorly spent trying something new, especially when there's good food involved. We both enjoy dabbling in various sorts of foods, right? Like we like a lot of food, so that's great. So I think that's why it's right up our alley. But yeah, no, the picking and choosing how you want to prioritize your time, that's a never ending battle. But I think that's why I'm being vocal about it on the pod to remind myself when I listen back to this episode next year and think like, wow, like I said I wanted to go to these festivals and didn't, I'll be disappointed. So let's do it for 2027, Eric and Matt, listening back and, you know, trying some new stuff out. But yeah, no, just to your point though about how to choose the ribs. Like they all have these accolades. It's like looking at Connor McDavid's elite prospect page, all the hardware he's won, right? It's like, you did it, world's best cup of coffee. Like they all say that, right? So it's really tough, but I feel like for the most part, you can't go wrong with any of them. They're there for a reason. For the most, like if you're going to these festivals, you feel confident enough about your product that you're not displaying mediocrity and looking to be rewarded for it, right? So, yeah. What do you have lined up around the house that you're looking to get into this summer, Matt?
Well, carrying on with like continuing with the food topic. There's also not only these big festivals, but there's also these little like markets or food vendor markets that people hold, and they're all around Ottawa. And the reason I know about these now is my brother-in-law Isa has a smash burger little stand at all these markets during the summer. It's called Baba's Burger House. He does like 3 or 4 different types of smash burgers. He's got like desserts now with it, sides, and I've had it. I've had it once, and I'm dying to like have these smash burgers again, Eric. They're absolutely delicious. Go on Instagram, Baba's Burger House. Amazing like stuff. It's basically smash burgers with like a Lebanese Mediterranean twist. Like it has all the flavors, Lebanese flavors, Mediterranean flavors in a smash burger, and it's still absolutely delicious. But that's like the kick in the butt I need to like. Yes, like even though I live in our park, I can still go to like the Parkdale one, which is close to where I work, so it'd be like driving to work. And there's still festivals in Canada too, like Food Fest in Canada that they do. So like traveling's no excuse for me. But the street market where my brother-in-law goes, like, that's family. I need to go there and support him and have food. And the next time he's at Parkdale, I'm gonna go. And I recommend everyone to go. Like, he mostly does Navin, Orleans, like those street markets. But it's cool, like, when you know someone who's operating a stand and can do something. Like, I already know it tastes delicious, so that's what I have planned for that. This gonna be like, it already feels like, when I looked at my calendar in May, I'm like, man, it's gonna be a busy summer. There's already stuff planned. Like, I went to 3 baseball games in Toronto this week. At the beginning of this week, I have my cousin's bachelor party, 2 of my cousins' wedding. Like, I'm already looking at that, going like, all right, that weekend. Plan though, I don't have too much in terms of stuff around the house. Is very minimal, which is nice. Every year, Eric, I write a list of things I want to do around the house, and I end up doing about half of them, which is fine because I always write too much stuff to do. But yeah, my life this summer's going to be just juggling, like, do I want to, like, watch sports on TV, or do I want to go outside and do something? Do I want to go, like, to the camping lot? It's like the typical juggling of how do I want to prioritize my free time? We prep for lists every year for the podcast, the top 10 lists. So I have to keep up with that. And I don't know about you, do you feel a bit of pressure sometimes? Not pressure, but like, you at least want to watch 10 to 20 things for each list, like at minimum 10 to 20 things for each list, right, Eric? So do you feel like sometimes a bit of pressure to watch new releases and music, movies, and TV? Like, do you get that anxiety sometimes, or not at all?
I wouldn't say anxiety, but for sure I know, like, I it's also because I genuinely want to watch these things that the movies are probably easier. Like, committing to a show, I find, is more of a time commit, in my opinion. But no, I mean, and I don't mind pushing them off for the fall to check them out. Like, I know I'll eventually get to them, but again, the thing is that a lot of these big movies do come out in the summer, and I do want to catch them in theaters, right? But there's some that I just know, like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna wait for this one to go on streaming. But there's some, like Odyssey, I'm going pretty opening weekend. Spider-Man will be the same thing. So it's just fun though. It's a good outing to go with. Like, Odyssey, I'm going with some friends. Spider-Man, Andy and I'll go together. Toy Story 5, same thing. So it's just fun, good stuff to look forward to. It's not necessarily my highlights of the summer for sure. And again, like I said, I don't mind pushing some of the shows and movies for later.
Okay.
The Bubba's Burger House, though, just want to say that's a podcast waiting to happen. Issa is coming on at some point to talk about the business. We have to. I'm dying to try the smash burgers. My parents have went. They raved about it as well, so definitely want to support and have him on the pod. Like, that's getting it on the record that Issa, you're coming on here if you're listening. So a lot of stuff going on. Me too. By the time this episode drops, we'll be back from that Dill's bachelor party, so excited for that. That's my bigger cottage weekend for the summer. I also have my good friend Mart's bachelor party later in the summer as well. Few weddings.
Oh, wow.
It's a busier summer for sure. Last year was more a chill summer for us. We didn't do as much coming off our busy wedding year in 2024. So it was a nice, like, in between, took it easy. Now this summer is definitely looking busier for sure. Got Blues Fest around the corner as well.
Okay.
And going just 3-day pass this year. Didn't love the lineup as much as last year. And on that topic, I do want to ask Matt, are there any intentions of going to Blues Fest for you this year? Was there any appetite based on the lineup, or are you going this year?
I'm definitely not going this year, sadly. And the lineup did influence me. And I talked a lot about this with coworkers who are going, and they're like, "Why aren't you going?" I'm like, nothing excites me too much. Like, the biggest band that excites me is Limp Bizkit this year, but like they're not in their prime, so it's like I'm not gonna be sad. And I'm not that big of a Limp Bizkit fan, but I'm definitely gonna go one year. Like, I know I sound like a broken record, but like. One year, I'm just going to, like, leave my car at work after work and go to Blues Fest from work. It's like a 10-minute, 15-minute walk. So, no excuse. I'm definitely not going this year. Who are you hoping to see, though, Eric, during your 3-day pass?
So got actually going to Limp Bizkit, and funnily enough, I don't have anyone to go with on that day. So if you do want to just get a day pass and come with, I'd appreciate the company for sure. It's also Cypress Hill is that night as well, so that's kind of
Oh, yeah.
my rock rap
Right.
day. I find again the lineup was not appealing overall. Like I did want to just do the full pass like we did last year, but there weren't enough names. Like again, Limp Bizkit, Cypress Hill. I hardly know
Yeah.
either of their music. I obviously know a few of the hits here and there, but it's
Mhm.
not like I'm itching for Limp Bizkit and Cypress Hill. So that's one.
Yeah.
And then there's Gwen Stefani, who again that would have slapped 20 years ago. But
Yeah.
here we are, and she's one of the names that they were able to get this year. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Expecting a sort of Shania Twain esque experience, right? She had some hits back in the day, so it should be a good enough time. And then the one that I'm more excited for, going with Andy and a group of friends, is the Lumineers, who,
Mm.
again, I'm not the biggest fan of, but leading up to it, and now we're actually pretty close to that date. I'll be listening to their music a little more, getting familiarized with the tunes, and should be a good. I'm expecting Hosier kind of vibe, who I love. That was my favorite show of last year. So if it can be that kind of experience, I'm extremely happy. There's also BBMO is that same day, but unfortunately he's playing at the same time as Lumineers, which I think absolute fumble by I don't know what these people at Blues Fest are doing organizing this thing honestly. First of all, in the names that they're able to get, and then the slotting of these artists like BBMO who sings Edamame, Gigolo. I think he has like at least one other hit that was pretty big on the radio. That's someone you'd want to have probably before Lumineers, get the crowd hyped up, and then you come down as it gets
Mhm.
closer to bedtime with some Ophelia. Insert other Lumineers song here. I feel like that would have been a better asset management. Alas, here we are. But those are the three this year for me.
Wow, that's gonna be fun. Fun time. Uh, yeah. When is that this week coming up, Eric, or is that the following?
No, it's in
Oh,
July.
I'll talk
It's
about it.
I think it's like
Okay.
early to mid July is the 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's actually Lumineers is the day after our cousin Dylan's wedding, so it's a Sunday night. I think Gwen Stefani and Limp Bizkit are the weekend before, but yeah. So those are the two, and it's kind of always that time of year, beginning of July. So that's again your first 2 weekends of July are kind of taken care of by Blues Fest.
Right.
Then before you know it, it's August and it's Mark's bachelor party. Like there's just stuff comes up left and right out here. So busy summer. Another thing on the festival side of things, Festival des Montgolfières at the end
Mm.
of that's in September. Smash Mouth is actually the headliner there, so that should be a good
Oh.
one. I think we'll look to get some tickets for there. We went last year. I don't know if I said it on the pod there, but my mom and I went to see Flowrider at Festival de Montgolfière.
Yeah.
Unbelievable time. I feel like that's a hidden gem in terms of a nice festival experience. They got the carnival set up. You feel like you're on season one Euphoria out there with the just look that they had with the rain. None of the energy anyone's trying to emulate there, but I'm just saying it kind of reminded me of that. The day we went, it was like a rainy day, so with the neon lights of the carnival, it's always a cool aesthetic look I find. But yeah, Festival de Montgolfière, I would check that out, Matt. Too. It's I think a pretty cheap ticket too to go
Okay.
and yeah. So those are my two musical outings this summer slash fall. And then like there's City Folk Fest, but I feel like that lineup just never does anything for me. You have to really know the deep cut artists to
Mhm.
go there. It's always like, oh yeah, this guy's he's gonna be huge in 7 years kind of thing. It's always those kind of
Yeah.
artists. But then again, Post Malone was there at one point and missed him there, so you never know.
Yeah, that's a big chance to take. You definitely mentioned Festival de Montgolfière last year, Eric, and I remember you
Yeah.
saying like it's a hidden gem and people should go. And honestly, like you think Smash Mouth's gonna be there, like that would interest Mackenzie because she
Mhm.
like. Well, we both like him. Like we know all the hits,
Yeah.
so that's definitely something in September I'm gonna consider going to. It's in Gatineau, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. You said a lot of good things. Yes, you're saying like your summer, like things are already booked and like it's gonna go by fast. I'm finding as while you're in your 30s, like in our 30s, like life's going by even faster. It's crazy. I know it's a cliche, but like, oh my god, like we're mid-June as of right now, and I feel like what's going on here? I guess my work schedule is work makes the week go by faster, obviously, and I'm scared a little right now because I'm gonna have a schedule change soon at work, so I don't know what my July and August is gonna look like for work days, but it's either gonna be I'm on day shift still or I'm on nights, which kind of makes the week go by even faster because I sleep less. So we'll see. But yeah, my summer, it's like between watching the Blue Jays, watching the Blue Jays, first of all, is a commitment. Okay, there's 162 games, guys. So it's 6 games a week. And it's do you want to do that at night or do you want to go do something else? But a lot of the times I'm well, I pay to watch the Blue Jays on Sportsnet, so I'm going to tend to want to watch that. But it kind of eats up a lot of time too. Like I said, I just got back from Toronto. I went to see 3 games on a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night with my dad. It was a blast.
Nice.
Toronto in the summer is great. There's so much good food we ate, and we went on little excursions during the day, and then at night we went to the baseball games. And even though the results weren't that great for the Blue Jays, we still had a fun time. I'll just list the highlights quickly, Eric, of the trip. A game, every day at the ballpark there was something going on. The first day they gave away a Roy Halladay jersey to the first 15,000 fans, so we lined up and we got our free jerseys. Tuesday night is Looney Dog night at Rogers Center, so $1 hot dogs at the ballpark. So I had 5, my dad had 3. We just wolfed them down super fast. It was so good. And then the third night was a bobblehead giveaway, so I got a free bobblehead because we lined up early to get one. So cool giveaways and things going on during the day, Eric. I don't know if you've ever been to the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, but me and my dad went. It was amazing. Have you been here?
Yep, went back in the day. I want to say 09 in that range, maybe 10.
Oh, wow. Well, my dad had been there before, and he said, they changed a lot of stuff. They have, you can shoot on a virtual goalie now and try to score, or be the goalie and try to stop an actual puck that comes flying at you, which is kind of fun. Shooting on the virtual goalie was actually really fun, though. It was harder than it looked. And you have all these people watching you, so there's pressure. But seeing all the displays and the trophies, we were there a good 3 hours trying to read everything and soak it all in, and we were not bored for a second. So that was fun, doing a bit of shopping too. But just drinking good food with my dad, eating good food and drinking good beer with my dad was a highlight, and just enjoying baseball. And that is a big part of my summers, is just relaxing in the evening and watching the Blue Jays with Mackenzie, and just having a good supper with a nice drink. And that definitely eats up a lot of my time, though. That's why I don't go out as much anymore. I'd rather stay home, watch baseball. But no, I mean, I definitely do have to take advantage of Ottawa's festival scene, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a gigantic festival where you're going all afternoon sweating your through your shirt because it's so hot outside. It could be going to a comedy show at night, to Yuck Yucks or Absolute Comedy. It could be there's cheaper options than going to a festival and spending a bunch of money on food. No, I can't wait to do more of that stuff in the future. I feel these outdoor festivals, some people find them very overwhelming. I don't know, I've definitely been to the Lebanese festival before, and it was it's a lot of people, Eric, and it's a little overwhelming. And especially if you don't if you're going there with just one person, it's you kind of what do you do after the first 20-30 minutes when you grab food, right? So that could be a little overwhelming. I hear too, some of the festivals, the food festivals, they have different stuff now, rides for kids, almost a carnival setting. I don't know if you've ever seen that, Eric. And they have games and stuff. But then that turns into more going to the carnival and to the fair, the fair in New Orleans at Raphael, Do those things still interest you, Eric, or are you all past all that?
The fair? Hard pass. No thanks. I'm not trying to get no teacups and throw up my whatever, octopus skewer I just ate at the Asian food festival that I missed this year. So no, I'm good on that, honestly. But yeah, I completely agree with the sensory overload, and just I don't love crowds in general at this stage in my life, which is not that old at all, but I'm just not about wiggling through a crowd like a sardine out here, holding Andy's hand, make sure we're not getting separated with these greasy people trying to cut. And people, I feel there's very poor etiquette at these events where it's not like we're in Japan and there's respect for your fellow citizens out here. It's a survival of the fittest out here. And I'm not saying it's the alphas out there that dominate everything, but just having that many people in a crowd just breeds chaos. And yeah, after we've had our bite to eat, we're kind of typically good to just at least, if not find a quiet place to chill, maybe even leave. Like, it's not one of these places we want to be spending, like you said, 3 hours in the Hockey Hall of Fame to just read up and see every little vendor's display, because once you've seen quite a few, you've almost seen them all, right? So it's one of those things where, yeah, it's cool to get in there, have a few different a few different bites, but after that you kind of just head out, have a great night kind of thing. So I agree, you don't want to be hitting up all these festivals either. It's a pick and choose. You go to like one or two kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of for me it on the festivals. There's a few other little things. I was just looking up things in Ottawa that are happening this summer that somewhat grabbed my attention. Is there a chance I don't go to either of these things? Yes. But one of them was it's called a Kaleidoscope Kayak Evening. So it's like this night. I don't even know where it is, but just Google this in July. It's in July. Just give it a quick Google, Kaleidoscope Kayak. You'll find what you need to find. And it looks like some sort of art show on the water with this intricate, again, this lighting display that I'm sure would be pretty cool to see. You're in a kayak. It's most likely a pretty chill evening, something different. And then one where I actually could see myself being interested in this as a big animated movie guy is the International Animation Fest. So that's happening in September. Again, hazy on the details, but I'm assuming it's kind of some sort of kiosk where there's different displays of animation style, maybe a little history on when certain animation styles became a little more popular. I don't know, but it is something that grabbed my attention and might be something that I want to investigate and look into and maybe even attend. Who knows? So yeah, those are the two that I kind of was just looking up things happening in Ottawa and popped off the screen for me.
Those seem interesting, Eric. You just reminded me of something that I did, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago with two high school buddies that hadn't contacted me in a while, but randomly when they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go to this convention, this game convention in like Nepean or something at a convention center." It was like, I thought it was gonna be a video game con or something. No, this is actually like board games, a board game convention, and it was so like I entered a world that I didn't even know existed, where these are people that deep dive on board games, and there was old ones, new ones, things I'd never seen in my life, like not just like card games, like actual board games that were super old and retro. And like, I spent like 2-3 hours there, and it was not a waste of time. It was really fun to see stuff I'd never heard of. I learned a lot. So there you go. Like, sometimes you have to go out of your comfort zone, and you might learn a lot on this new like this new thing that some people are obsessed. You're finding like a little niche hobby that people have, and then you're seeing their passion for it. So that's another thing Ottawa has, like little conventions like that. Maybe it's not the way you want to spend your summer, going indoors for 2-3 hours in an arena or convention center, but like if it's not a nice day, why not? I went to the Museum of History. Yeah, the Museum of History in Gatineau. Is it called the Museum of History or Natural History? The Civilizations Museum?
Sure.
Anyways,
yeah.
The Museum of Civilizations, yeah, for a dance competition for Mackenzie's daughter. But like while I was there, I'm like, oh my God, why am I not going into this museum? Like, I remember going here a lot as a kid, and it looks the same, like the kids section and where I used to go get my passport stamped and all the little section. That's something too that's underrated in Ottawa. We have lots of museums, and that's always fun. A museum is more like I like going with people that have never been to that museum, because then you experience their first time, and it's a fun time. But yeah, like we also at work, we pulled up a list one time during our lunch break. Every festival that was going on in Ottawa this summer, and literally every weekend there was 4 or 5 things going on somewhere in the capital. Like, it was insane. Like I thought I had an idea what was going on in Ottawa until I looked at this list. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so ignorant. I have no idea, like, all the cool stuff that happens in the city. that people don't take advantage of, because maybe they just don't get the exposure and they're not as big as other cities, but people should take advantage of it. And I know some people listening right now are probably like, yes, like, it's what we've been saying for years, but I'm very ignorant to it. And I definitely haven't done a lot of these things, but I want to. And as I get older, I can see myself doing more and more of that stuff, right? So
You just gotta look things up, right? Like look up, hey, things happening in Ottawa this weekend or this month, and then you plan ahead. And like you said about the board game convention, that's something that is an interest of both of us, right? Like we love playing board games. It's always fun to discover new ones, or even at this convention, you're maybe seeing old games that you had completely forgotten about, right? Like the scene in Santa Claus 2 where all the adults get these toys and games that they hadn't thought of for years. It unlocks core memories for you and brings out the inner child in you. I think that's something that is lost on us, and we do need to rekindle sometimes with a convention like that. And I do think it's whatever interests you have in life in general, you're not the only one who has an interest in this, and then you can meet, if you want, like-minded individuals, and that can create somehow maybe an unlikely friendship even, because as adults I do find it is harder to meet people, especially if you're in, again, a routine. You're going to work, you're going to golf, you play your sports all with the same people. You're not getting exposed to anything different, so your circle kind of just stays the same.
yeah.
Of course, there are situations where, like, okay, we just hired two people. This guy wants to join your hockey team. You can meet people like that, of course, but there's other parts of your life that may not be fleshed out fully. And by putting yourself in those kind of situations where, like, hey, I have this interest in, let's say, anime, for example. I'll go to Anime Con or whatever, and maybe chat up some people there. Obviously, it's way easier said than done, and even myself, I'm not someone who's just gonna go into a circle of people like, hey, let's talk Attack on Titan kind of thing. Like, all right, freak, get away from us. You're not in costume. You can't chat with us. But, so it's just one of those things, though, that, again, putting yourself out there, trying these different things is a good thing. I want to do more of it, and I think Ottawa is a breeding ground for that. It's like you said, you just got to print out the list of events happening in the National Capital Region and then put in the effort, right? If you are interested in something, I think it's worth doing. Again, like on the anime front, I'll just add on to it right now, like the One Piece grind that I've been on. Just by telling people that I'm watching this show, I've gotten a bunch of coworkers of mine saying I'm a huge One Piece fan, and we've created this little mini community of people where as I go through the anime, I'm updating them on what I'm seeing, and it's just like it's a little bond that we now have. It's something we have in common that we can talk about, and it's a lot of fun, right? So by, again, sharing a bit about yourself to people, you can see that, hey, I have more common with this person than I thought I did. And then again, if there is an anime con around the corner, which I'm sure there are, like maybe it's like, hey, let's all go together kind of thing. So it's something to consider.
That's awesome, Eric. Yeah, for me, the hardest part is the commit. Like, once I'm at the event, I'm going to have a great time. It's committing to it in my schedule. And then, like, that's the hardest part for me, is actually, like, deciding, okay, I'm going to do this. And once that's accepted in my brain, then when I'm there, I have a good time. But I just have a hard time committing to try new things. And speaking of that, trivia nights in Ottawa, this is something I've never done ever, Eric. And I want you to tell me how, like, I have an image in my head how it, like, the event proceeds, but, like, to me, like, I've never done it. So is it something that's very intimidating, competitive? Like, this is my image in my head of a trivia night. You get to, like, the restaurant or place where it's held, and you forming your teams at your table. And, like, is it just like an MC at the front, like, rattling off questions, and you have a buzzer, or you raise your hand? Like, I have no idea how it works. I'm very, like, I'm a stranger to it, so I don't know if you can enlighten me. Have you ever been to a trivia night, Eric, in Ottawa?
Yes, I'm glad you actually brought this up, because that was one of my talking points too, in that there are tons of trivia nights in various bars in Ottawa on different weeknights. So I feel like there's something going on every single night. I've been to quite a few, honestly. Like, my first few ones were when I went to school in England, 2016. That's when, of course, pub trivia is very big over there. That might be where it originated. I don't know. but that's probably a trivia question, honestly. But and it's a lot of fun with, especially when you get into different themed kind of trivia nights. I like those more than just general trivia in general. I feel like I do worse in those for just random knowledge. But the theme ones where there's like a category on movies, for example, like I'm typically better at that. So the ones I've been to have not been what you just described, in that it's a buzzer system. You have a sheet of paper, list of questions just labeled 1 through 20, and then you just write your answer on a sheet of paper, and then typically you'll pass your piece of paper to the next table, and then you kind of, once the MC lists out all the answers, you kind of just X out or give a point accordingly. The only thing that I kind of would love to see a buzzer system is you can kind of mitigate cheating risks, right? Where they say no phones, but I'm sure there are little ways where you can be subtle about it. If you're in the back of the bar, right? The MC only has so many eyes, two typically, and cannot see what everyone is up to in every corner of the space, right? So, but it's always been a great time. You get to huddle up. The thing with the buzzer system, though, is that you don't get to discuss as a team, right? That's where like managing personalities in a team can sometimes be hard. One thing that drives me crazy is when people at the table like are talking really loud, and then you worry that other teams hear what you're saying. You're like, okay, the answer is this. Like, the answer is this. Like, Jesus, like, we got it down. Just stay in your lane, fella. We got it. Like, that's so. But it's always a great time. I've never had a bad time at a trivia night. Walked away a few times with like a third place prize kind of thing, or one time won Harry Potter trivia with them. Kristin Ud, who's a wizard in her own right, with Harry Potter knowledge. And but again, that's something that there's so many of them going on in Ottawa all the time. You again have to look up when a theme one is going on that interests you. And hey, we've done trivia episodes how many times on the pod, so I'm sure there'd often be ones that we would do pretty well at if we knew they were happening and then attended. So trivia, you should do it, Matt, for sure. You'd love it, I'm sure.
I think I would. I remember shopping one day. Well, this was back when I was collecting movies aggressively, like every week going to the used movie stores around Ottawa. Anyways, I digress. The cashier at one of the places, he told me, who I befriended because I was there every week, he's like, oh, we had this trivia night nearby the other week. It was a horror movie poster trivia thing where they had the they showed you a movie poster with no writing on it. It was just like the background, the artwork with no writing, and you had to guess the movie. And then he gave me all these examples, and I'm like, I used some of them. He's like, oh man, we could have used you on our team. And I'm like, how is that a thing that one trivia night was doing like posters, but yet to guess what movie it was based on the poster with no writing on it? That's a cool idea. And I'm sure there's ideas that we're not even aware of, like trivia themes that we're not even aware of that exist. Like there's thousands of possibility. I know our cousin Dylan loves trivia and trivia nights. I know he's done it. Definitely something I want. That's on my bucket list. Definitely do a trivia night like at a restaurant or bar. Good to know that the format is. That would make me more shy if I had to buzz in and to say my answer out loud. So that's a cooler format, I guess. Speaking of trivia, I went to this guy I know, a friend of a friend from work was on Pop Culture Jeopardy. So I went to his house to watch the episode that he appeared on Netflix on Pop Culture Jeopardy. Now, he lost his Jeopardy game, but it was cool talking to him about his experience filming the Jeopardy show in LA in January and then waiting like 6 months later when the show aired on Netflix. But he said that it was very intimidating being on the Jeopardy, like the Alex Trebek stage where they filmed Jeopardy. And he said that it's like, this is the inside look he gave me. It was like, so when Colin Jost reads the question, as soon as he's done his last word of the question, a light in front of you lights up, and you have, as soon as that light lights up, you can press your buzzer. If you press it before that, it won't let you, like, it screws you over. And if you press it too, like, someone's going to press it as soon as that light goes on, basically. So Jeopardy is more about the speed of you clicking that buzzer than knowing the answer, because a lot of the pop culture ones are easy, but it's so hard to time it perfectly. And he said that was a struggle because the champions were like, whoever was winning was getting better and better as the day was going on, right? Because he filmed 5 episodes a day. But just that's just an inside look he gave me on Jeopardy, and I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And maybe next year I'll, because it's teams of two, and they're like, Matt, who would you bring with you on Jeopardy? I'm like, I thought of you right away, Eric.
Oh, let's go.
Jeopardy,
that's
right?
cool.
Like we should try to get in next time, because it's a long process, but then you get a free trip to LA, and they pay for the room and board, and you film, and then like he said, getting on Jeopardy was hard, because to get on Jeopardy you have to do many like rounds against other people and fill out like Jeopardy's trivia surveys and stuff. He says it's a cool process, but it wouldn't hurt if we tried next time. Why not, right?
I would love that. I was gonna say, like, how did this guy get on the? How did he get on the show?
You went on, like, you do an online application, and you just beat out a bunch of people. You had to do a lot of like not IQ tests, but trivia tests, and then like mock Jeopardy rounds against other teams, probably online or something, and do well in that. But also they're looking for certain personalities too, right? And he said like they tell you what to wear and say, almost like everything's scripted, right? And you have to have a certain vibe. So, it's.
I'd sprinkle in a little bit of Eazy flair in there. I'm going off script if they select me, but like this episode isn't airing, but that'd be so much fun. I would love that, honestly. That'd be cool. Like, why not? Like, let's apply. I'm down for sure. And then worst case scenario, it's crickets, but best case scenario, we actually can somehow move up the chain, go through the process, and that's a little story right there. Even if we don't make it to the end, that's a nice experience. Try something new, kind of theme of the episode here under our belt. So no, I'd be down for that for sure. It's just make sure we're aware of when this is all happening, and maybe get a recommendation from this friend of a friend who has been on that might have some weight to pull strings behind the scenes over in LA, but in the hills. But yeah, that'd be awesome for sure. Not what I was expecting. But yeah, I bet being on TV too, it's so easy for us on the couch being like, you idiot, how do you not know this is the answer? Or when we're watching sports, like, oh, how did he miss that open net? It's like, we have no idea, literally no idea what it's like when the bright lights are on and you're supposed to hit a buzzer, not too quick, not too late, until you're in that seat, and having those quick reflexes and that staying calm under pressure. It's the easiest thing to do is judge as a couch potato. Small fries, if you will. But anyways, it's human nature. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, we were watching the episode with him in real time, and he was like, he got a question wrong in the episode, and he's like, I just panicked because I misheard what he said, and I said the wrong thing. Because in every question, there's like, it's either a who or a what, and he misread the thing, and he was so embarrassed. He said like he didn't feel like answering anything after that. But absolutely what you said, Eric. It's on the spot, people staring at you, and you have like the 3-4 seconds to answer. Oh my God, that's nerve-wracking. You almost have to pre-read the question faster than him and get ready to like press that buzzer. Very stressful. But no, like watching the episode, like I do fairly well on Pop Culture Jeopardy because a lot of it's movie and TV and actors and that stuff. I don't do well when it's about influencers or TikTok and Instagram category, but there's a lot of those questions, so it's hard. And a lot of the people too say like that's a topic they're not good at because it's a lot of older, like people older than us too that appear on the show. But anyways, that would be really cool to do for me and you, just appearing on a game show. Can you imagine? There's quite a few Canadians on the show too, so
cool. And yeah, even like just like last thing for me anyways on this topic is on a smaller scale. Even when we've done our trivia episodes, it's been so easy on the spot to blank on certain things where as soon as the episode's done, like, yeah, of course it was this. Like, I knew, you know what I mean? Like, you're just, even me on a daily basis sometimes, like, I can't remember an actor's name and it bugs me. And then I kind of forget about it. Next day, I just wake up, I'm like, oh yeah, Josh Brolin or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, it just immediately comes to mind. And it's just the brain is a funny thing. And again, that on the spot there to tweaks how you see things for sure. Last thing I had, I guess, for summer recommendations and just things to be aware of is the World Cup, right? Big thing happening in Canada. There's a lot of games happening in Vancouver. What are your thoughts on the World Cup? Do you have any plans on watching games or having even organized events to watch games? Anything on the horizon for you in that regard?
For the World Cup, I'm gonna be more like a casual viewer, watch all the Canada games, but but also like get more serious when it's like the round of 8 and the semis and then the finals. Like I'm gonna watch those games in depth. But other than that, I don't care that much about the results. Obviously, I'm gonna cheer for Canada until to see how far they can make it. I can definitely see myself. Let's say Canada gets out of their group, maybe going to like a bar or a restaurant to watch the World Cup with people because that's what soccer is all about. It's such good atmosphere watching it with like diehard fans. But no, at the end of the day, it's not something that's extremely important to me. But I will cheer for Canada, and it's exciting that they're in it this year. So, and they tied their first as of today. They've their first game they tied 1-1. So, not terrible. Um, what about you, Eric? Like, are you super diehard invested in it, or are you just gonna watch it casually?
Honestly, kind of the same page as you. I just brought it up because it's something that's happening in Canada. It's not something that I've been like dying to wait for and itching to see. But yeah, kind of be aware of what's happening. I don't know when the next game is, so I guess I'm not doing a great job of being aware of what's happening. But yeah, we got a point, and yeah, it'll be something a big talking point in the office, right? People rallying around Canada. That's what I like about it is that it's gonna hopefully build up some sense of national pride, bring people together. We need that anytime we can get it, but it's just nice to always be able to align and root for a common cause like most of hockey fans are right now, with hoping Carolina can get it done at the time of recording tonight over Vegas. I don't really know who's rooting for Vegas out there right now, but I ain't one of them, that's for sure. So yeah, it's always nice when we can all rally behind a collective cause. Is kind of my take on the World Cup.
No, I couldn't agree more. A lot of people I work with are diehard soccer fans, and they name drop players, and I'm like, listen, I have no idea what you're saying who you're talking about right now. I have no idea, and they can't believe it. It's like if I'd be like McDavid and Crosby and McKinnon, they're like, who are you talking about? And they don't know anything about NHL, so it's kind of like they look at me like I have 3 heads. But yeah, speaking of the Stanley Cup Finals, one of the best finals I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. You can never count the team out. Lots of goals, lots of crazy goals in different moments and momentum swings. I'd be so happy to see Jordan Staal hoist that cup too, Eric. The guys had an unbelievable Stanley Cup Finals.
It's been great to watch, honestly, and I think a lot of people going into it thought, what a nightmare matchup in that it's going to be boring hockey. And honestly, I'll just say now, I don't find Carolina's been boring to watch whatsoever these whole playoffs. They get a bad rap of just being, maybe they're the Ottawa of the NHL in that they're boring. They just kind of trap everything down. They don't give you any space to create any chances. But they play a high octane style of hockey, and it's led to, especially in the finals, some high scoring games, edge of your seat entertainment where, like you said, you can never count a team out. The 4-0 start for Vegas, I stopped watching when it got to 4-0, and then woke up and saw it ended up 5-4, which such a blow that they couldn't actually win after making that comeback. But still, I think that gave their group some confidence in that, hey, we're never out of a game. Hart is not unbeatable. Hell, he's let in 4 goals every goddamn game so far, so we know he's not unbeatable. Hopefully that trend continues tonight. And it's just been amazing hockey. Like last game, so game 5, when Vegas made it 4-2 with 6 minutes left, I honestly thought they were coming back and tying the thing up. I did not like that it was only down 2 goals with still a lot of time to go. Power play at the end of the game, but the boys shut it down. It's wild, too, how everything's transpired with the goalie situation, with now Bussy is in nets. I really hope they just win tonight in 6. Part of me thinks this is going 7, but I do not want it to. I want just win it in Vegas, party like animals out there, and just let's put an end to this storyline for the Golden Knights, who I do not think deserve to win at all. And yeah, let's just go Carolina. But it's been a heck of a final. And yeah, Jordan Staal, he's talked his way into the Conn Smythe conversation through his unbelievable play throughout these 5 games so far.
Well said. That's a great rundown of the finals, and yeah, Vegas doesn't deserve like 9 years in the league, and they're already in their third finals. I just their whole bad vibes from them. Anyways,
Bad vibes for sure.
yeah, I'm sure we'll recap once we can talk about it once we know the result.
Yeah.
Just before we get into random recommendations on the culinary at home, like the food at home, Eric, are you doing any projects this summer for food projects basically, and new stuff you want to try out, or did you want to discuss any types of new experimentations you're doing? Are you doing your kombucha? Are you doing gardens, pickling, anything on that front?
Garden for sure, pickling for sure. Kombucha is the SCOBY I have might be dead honestly at this point. It might be time to just chuck, and then at some point if I want to get back to it, buy a new one. But no, that's been back burner for sure. Still making sourdough. Made some last weekend. Great. Pickling, yeah, just made pickles a few days ago. And then, yeah, gardening, we've actually did some work in our backyard to expand our available space to plant. And we've got some stuff growing. Hopefully can yield good results, a good harvest. Difference with last year and this year is that last year we tried to do less is more approach, and it didn't really work out. So this year we're going variety. Just we stuffed our raised beds with even flowers, herbs, and then a bunch of different veggies. And my understanding is that these are complementary growers, I guess, where they ward off insects, they bring beneficial bugs too, and help pollinate and just create a better environment for your veggies to grow. So I'm really excited to see what we're able to get. I don't want to just list off everything we've planted because there's a lot, but hoping to get a good harvest. So yeah, there's that. And then yeah, just keep the barbecue going, keep getting better with it. Overcooked some chicken breast the other day. Felt disgusted with myself after that, eating raw rubber. It was straight Monkey D. Luffy chicken out there. But anyways, so no, it's you learn every year with with gardening and barbecuing, just life in general. I feel like every year getting better in some ways, worse in others maybe, but in the long run, it's all good progress. So yeah, that's kind of it on the food front. Lots going on. Looking forward. I mean, I guess if I'm talking about trying new stuff, I've said last year I want to do like a roasted red pepper dip. I actually do want to do that this year. Make a pesto too. I've said it before and I literally need to do it. It's getting, I'm sure the listeners are screaming at the screen if they remember me saying this, but I'm actually going to do it this year. Made some mustard the other day. It was okay, but probably there's definitely room for improvement there. So yeah, just trying new stuff is always in the bag. How about you?
That's awesome. I'm not trying as many things as you, Eric. Like no garden, no pickling or anything. But like I've been more experimenting with just different types of variety, like different recipes. Definitely this summer I'm going to be barbecuing 2-3 times a week at the minimum. But what I'm exploring more now, and this is like something that your mom is an expert at, but different types of salads that don't have lettuce, basically. So lots of pasta salads, or like coleslaw salads, or non-lettuce salads basically. And you can like soup, you can almost put anything you want in there, and like if the flavors work and the vinaigrette works, you're good to go. And it's super easy to make, and it lasts a long time, and it's easy to make a big amount. So definitely my salad game, that's always something I struggle with, like sides for a meal. Like I have no problem cooking protein like meat.
Agreed.
But it's what I do off with the meat, right? So, but my barbecue game's solid. Like anything I see on sale at the grocery store is immediately going on the barbecue that night, and it's delicious. And I'm a big fan of like now putting like, before it's done cooking, like putting sauce on my meat and like letting it caramelize for the last 2 minutes on the barbecue to give it even more flavor. And definitely, Eric, like I lit my barbecue on fire once already this year, so it's not just like it literally burnt all my chicken legs because it needed to be clean, and I definitely ruined the meal too. So that was fun, embarrassing. I immediately had to go like get a pizza or something because the chicken legs were black. But you learn from your mistakes, folks, and the more times you fail, the better you get at something.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So you'll be taking care of the bachelor party next weekend there, throw you on the grill up some charred zucchini, get everything going there.
If I'm in charge, there'll be no zucchini on the grill. But
to a crisp.
If people need me to help out, I'll help out for sure.
Oh man, no, that's good
There's a lot
stuff.
of pressure though, cooking for like 30 people
I
though.
know,
We'll
right?
see how many
That's
people are there.
honestly a task I do not want. Like, is that responsibility of manning the grill. Honestly, just when we have people over, I feel more pressure putting together a meal, and on the barbecue especially. I'm a textbook overcooker when it comes to that. I don't want to risk any pink
Yeah.
slips on the chicken cutlets
Hmm.
when I'm taking it off, but that's the thing. You kind of got to just trust your process and not get nervous in those situations as one would in a pop culture Jeopardy round. Just stay cool, trust the process. But yeah, that's good stuff. We did actually get a few recommendations and
Okay.
stuff that people want to get into this summer as well. So speaking of Carolina, coached by Rod the Bod Brindamore, the goalie on my hockey team, my good friend Dylan Brindamore, is actually a distant, a somewhat. I'm not sure exactly what the dynamic is. I forget if it's his uncle or not something, but there's a relation there between Dill and Rod. So he does a lot of work on his truck, and he has put together like a really nice looking, like kind of old school looking truck. He said going to car shows and car meets is something
Hmm.
for the summer for him. And I did ask, like, kind of just for some details on what that entails. So it's again just organized events where a bunch of car enthusiasts bring their cars that they've done work on, kind of display them. It's again one of those things where you do go out and meet people with similar interests and hobbies. You kind of just compare. Like, again, I don't know if there's a competition element involved, but he said that there's one kind of on every night of the week in different locations. Like Monday's Rockland, Thursday it's 10th Line by Ray Friel, right across the street from the Mary Browns. I did go last year to Mary Brown's, not the car show, and I was just like, overwhelmed again by the amount of people around. Like, I'm just here to get a chicken sandwich and a 5-piece nug combo out here, and I ended up waiting for quite some time because there's a high demand. So no one loves the car meets more than Mary Brown's, that's for sure, in Orleans. So I know it's
Hmm.
cool. Said it's a nice way to socialize with people who have similar interests, and yeah. So have you ever been to something like this, Matt?
No, never. But I work with a lot of car people at work, like car enthusiasts, and they all love talking about going to the car shows. And there is a competition aspect, like just lift, like all the cars are aligned. Basically, nicest, well maintained cars. Sometimes they'll get a prize. Like they'll look under the hood and whatever. Like how you've maintained your old car is an art form, and there's prizes for that. Like I work with a guy. He's in a club. He has a Mazda Miata from the '90s. It's just a really small convertible car, and he's in a club just for Miatas. And he'll go to competitions, and it's all Mazda Miatas there, and they judge the best ones. And he'll drive around with his little club too. They'll do day trips, all the same cars, like just
Cool.
driving in a row. It's pretty hilarious. I didn't even know this world existed,
Mm.
but there is definitely a group for any type of car and model out there. There's a group where it's just those cars meeting up and
Mm-hmm.
doing stuff. So it's pretty cool.
It's like the horror movie poster trivia of the car world, right? There's something
Pretty
out
much.
there for everybody for sure. Like as niche as you could possibly imagine, there's a subsect of folks that are all over it, and that's
Hmm.
what's awesome, right? So, it's again comes back to just
Absolutely.
get your interests out there, be you, and yeah, you'll find your people in this life. You know, the sea is full of vast folks, and no one is meant to enter this world to be alone. That's a One Piece line. I'm just every chance I
Okay.
get, I'm just putting in references in there. But anyways, so that'll be a season 5 or 6 thing, Matt. You can look forward to that. But anyways, so yeah, next one was from the homie Justin Mochtinger. So he submitted more Jays games and then other World Cup themed things here in the six. So that's all. I mean, Jays games all right up your alley, Matt, and then World Cup. Yeah. How are the
Yeah,
Jays
like
doing this year?
I was in Toronto like the day before the Canada's first game, and there was already like buzz around the city. All the restaurants we went to had the decorations for the World Cup, and like that's gonna bring so much business. And you were saying how are the Jays this year, Eric?
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing that great so far. They're fighting for a wild card spot, but every night is like a sellout. It's insane the amount. Well, I mean, the World Series last year helps to bring the fans, but like it's such a loud stadium, and they're selling out on Monday nights, Tuesday nights. It's remarkable, and it's very exciting. Even though they're not doing as well as we want them to, it's fun to watch, nonetheless.
Well, that's good to hear. And there's still, 122 games to
Hmm.
go there, so tons of time to make up ground and
Yeah.
get back to hopefully the World Series if possible. But yeah, so thanks, Justin. Then the next one is from my coworker Roslyn. She submitted Lac Lemy fireworks, Lake Lemy fireworks, so like fireworks over Lake Lemy for the third time now. But yeah, I mean, always a nice scene. I find that the maybe this is wild, but the best part of a fireworks for me is like seeing the reflection on the water when you can get a shot of both in the sky and the water, the mirroring of the two elements. I find it's just aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, that's it.
That's a good recommendation. Yeah.
Yeah,
Never been. So.
yeah, same here. Yeah, those are recommendations from the people. So no, thank you. Things you're looking forward to. Love to hear it. Always fun to hear from you, fine folks. So yeah, but now speaking of recommendations, Matt, do you have anything that you've kind of gotten into recently? I know we just did a pod last weekend there, so not a lot of time has passed since our last recording, but anything that you've taken in and want to share with the people?
Yeah, for sure. Last Saturday, I had some free time and it wasn't super nice outside, and I decided to go to the movie theater, which I don't go to very often, by myself. I might add, which I hadn't gone to the movies by myself in so long. So I decided to go see two movies, and I lined them up really nicely. Like I went to see my first movie at 11 a.m., and then my next movie was at like 1:20. So it was like exit the theater, go back through the front, go to my next movie right away. So I went to see Back Rooms and Obsession double feature that day, which was great. It just honestly I had a fun time at the theater by myself. Eric. It was very relaxing. No one bothered. Like no one's there to bother me. I'm just sitting in my recliner, chilling. The movies both ripped by. Like they went by so fast. I was like, oh, it's already over. So the first movie at 11 a.m. was Back Rooms, which I loved, Eric. This is a movie right up my alley in terms of like I knew nothing about it, and I still can't really fully explain the movie even after watching it, but the acting was great by Chiwetel Ejiofor and Renata Rensve, and it's a very surreal movie, horror, sci-fi. The vibe of the movie I got when I was watching this movie, it reminded me of watching Annihilation, the Alex Garland movie with Natalie Portman. That's kind of the vibes I got, where you're like, what's going on right now? I like the sense of exploration and adventure, but it's like you don't really know what's going on. It's very David Lynch, like Twin Peaksy too, with when all the weird stuff in Twin Peaks starts happening at the end. It's very mysterious and surreal. And I don't want to explain too much the movie, just to say that it's not like it's definitely sci-fi in the sense that it's not something that would ever exist, but it's very weird movie. And I don't know if you know anything about it, Eric, but it's basically like Chiwetel Ejiofor in his story finds a portal to these back rooms, which are like endless hallways and stuff, and we don't know what's going on in there, and that's all I'm gonna say. It's like endless exploration, and there's a bit of a horror element too. It's kind of freaky, like the way it's shot. So, Back Rooms is a very unique movie, original, and kept me intrigued the whole time. And definitely a movie I want to have a discussion about because I have some theories.
Okay.
But have you heard of Back Rooms, Eric, or do you know anything about it?
Yeah, I've heard about it. I know the general premise, but I really don't know. Of course, like they kind of, I feel like they kind of try to kept it vague in terms of what ends up happening in these hallways and back rooms and stuff. So I don't know too much about it. I want to kind of keep it that way. But would you? My question is, would you say this is a movie that someone who's maybe not a horror fan? Like again, I've dabbled in horror. I can handle those kind of movies. But let's say you don't like horror. Is this something you will not enjoy because it is too freaky, or it's more like you mentioned sci-fi, right? Could you kind of spin it where okay, there's these jump scares and stuff, but this is not a scary movie. Like, how would you describe it perfectly for a non-horror fan? Do you watch this or you do not? I guess that's my question.
I would say if you're a horror fan, you appreciate the movie a little bit more because of like the way it's shot and the techniques. It's got a lot of like found footage horror aspects to it, like where it's first person point of view. And as a horror fan, you're just like appreciating it more. I would say if you're not a horror fan and if you like sci-fi, you'd find a lot of the stuff like you'd be like, why is this in the movie? Like that's definitely in the horror genre. That's a good question, Eric. I think definitely you could handle it. Like you'd appreciate this movie a lot. This movie is definitely for everybody, but it will there's a lot of horror elements, is what I'll say.
Okay.
I don't know if I fully answered your question. It's a hard question to answer.
I don't know either,
This
honestly.
movie has like 10 different genres in it. It's like there's every genre's in this movie, because it's even darkly funny in some parts.
Okay.
And it's superbly acted too.
Wow. Renana Raves is in it, so.
It's very hard to describe the movie. And honestly, I went in blind, Eric. I knew who was in the movie. I knew kind of the reviews, and I was like, all right, I'm going in. Before I get into the obsession, do you want to say something first, Eric? Do you want me to just close it off?
Yeah, let's go back to back with Obsession here, because I do want to also ask which one of these movies you preferred. I'm not sure if I'll be able to see both of these in theater. I do want to see at least one, so I want to get your recommendation on which one. But yeah, let's talk about Obsession first.
Okay, so right after Backrooms ended, I'm like, okay, I have 20 minutes. Run and get some popcorn as for my lunch and a drink and some gummy Skittles, but
nice.
Enough for the candy reviews here. I dive into the theater. I'm like, all right, movie's starting in 2 minutes. Obsession is a pure horror movie. Didn't know anything about it. I don't want to reveal too much because I don't know how much you know. All I'm gonna say, it's a cautionary tale on like be careful what you wish for, and it's a movie that's sort of predictable. It's not going to blow your brain in terms of originality, but what this movie does well is it executes its scares and thrills to it like perfectly. It's very vicious, very dark, and there's a lot of good gore. And the performances are really good. I didn't know any of these actors or the director, and everything was executed flawlessly. It's very believable, like the incredible performances. And there's some stuff that's like very, not upsetting, but it's pretty dark. And I love that they went that far with this movie, because this was produced by Blumhouse, who do all those generic like PG-13 teen horror movies like Truth or Dare or the Paranormal Activity movie. Like they put out a lot of crap, but this is one of their hits. And Obsession was just a good, like it takes its time to get into the story, but once you're like locked in, once like the main thing happens, and you'll know what I mean. It's a thrill ride, Eric, and it doesn't let up till the ending, and it goes by really fast. So the two movies I saw were super thrilling in their own ways. Obsession definitely has higher highs than Backrooms, but I think overall, if I were to pick a movie to watch, it'd be Backrooms because of how original it was and weird and unique. Whereas Obsession is a run-of-the-mill horror film, but happens to have great, like, dark gore moments and viciousness moments. But at the end of the day, like, Backrooms is what you can have a huge discussion on it. Like, Obsession, I wouldn't recommend that to a lot of people because they wouldn't be able to handle it. Like, it has, like, a couple of crazy moments. Like, when our cousin Dylan wrote his review on it, I'm like, I can see why he wrote that now. It's right. Savage. It's a savage movie.
Okay.
Yeah, unexpectedly savage too. Where I was like, holy shit, they went there. I'm loving this in the theater. Yeah.
Okay. So this is your traditional like horror movie for sure.
Yeah.
Whereas Backrooms, you can maybe spin zone as like, okay, there's just weird stuff going on, mystery, sci-fi, thriller, horror, of course, but Obsession is straight up like slasher almost even so. Which typically those don't do too much for me. Like there's a few that I have enjoyed, but I'm not a big like love to see gore for the sake of gore. I mean, of course, I'm sure it's done. It makes sense why there's this much gore there, but that's not what. That's why one of the many reasons I'll say why I've steered clear of the Terrifier franchise, right? So. But anyway, so no, I'll if I had to lean one way, it'd probably be Backrooms at this time. But I do think both are worth seeing. So we'll see what gets posted on the LB. Maybe it's the perfect in between my to take a little break from my Toy Story marathon I'm on right now. That's throwing some Obsession right in the middle between 2 and 3. But yeah, so no, I like that. I like that you got to see both of them. I think that's the perfect kind of double header too on a weekend day, so love that. But yeah, good stuff. Me, honestly, like, I haven't really watched a whole lot. Like I said, Toy Story, but come on, who hasn't seen? If you haven't seen those movies yet, like just log off, get off this pod. Honestly, like what are we doing here?
I agree.
But yeah, so looking forward to Toy Story 5. But right now, I've said like 6 times this episode already. I've just been on a One Piece grind. I'm at the equivalent of what will
Okay.
be like season 6 or 7, depending on how they want to and are able to do this in live action. And man, I'll just say, Matt, like we've seen quite literally nothing so far in the live action. Like our big bad of season 2 is freaking Wapple, who I'm not even joking is an absolute joke compared to what's coming. So
Wow.
it's been great. I've loved the 2 live action seasons there, but I just hope my hope with this show is that they're able to keep going in live action for many seasons. I want more people to watch the live action. Obviously, I'm not trying to recommend the anime to everyone. If it's for you, you'll know if it is or not, right? Because anime is a medium that is not for everybody. But if you do like anime and haven't seen One Piece, you for sure have to watch it because, again, I'm gonna keep it going there, and it might overcome my. I've always been like Attack on Titan's my favorite anime I've seen, but this is like definitely I could see this overtaking it if it keeps getting better, which I'm seeing people say like I'm not even in the best stuff yet. So it's really good
Really?
stuff. Great anime, and watch the live action if you haven't seen it. It's really good. It's good vibes. Luffy is just a like magnetic person who imparts a lot of good messages on like believe in yourself, be kind to people, give people the benefit of the doubt. People can surprise you. All those good things. I think, and I have loved both seasons. I'm not trying to downplay what they've done in seasons 1 and 2, but I do think season 3 is going to take a big step and probably going to get more people interested in, whoa, like this is really next level. And then even beyond that is even better. So it's a lot. It's a great world. I just hope we get it for a long time. And I do think this has the potential to be that next flagship show for Netflix. If more people buy in, I think is the big thing.
Oh, I can't wait. So like we're only gone like if we're comparing it to Lord of the Rings, like our characters are not even out of the Shire right now, right?
No.
Like
We're not even at Bilbo's retirement birthday party here. Like we're literally getting the what's the line? Concerning hobbits. Like we're like a minute into Fellowship of the Ring here, honestly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
We just got the prologue.
Obviously, there's no. We haven't even seen the prologue. I don't even know what we've seen, honestly, in Fellowship so far. There's been a lot of good stuff in the live action, but it's just in terms of key big moments to come. There's so much better stuff to come. But, anyways, so that's honestly all I have right now. I've not listened to music or watch any other. I haven't finished Spider Noir yet. I do want to actually finish that up because I feel like it's one that it could just get lost where I've watched half and then never got back to it, and I really do like it. So, did you get to finish it, Matt, since our last pod?
I did finish it. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. House of the
Question
Dragon. Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead, Eric.
I was just gonna say House of the Dragon season 3 coming out next weekend. I think I'm excited
Very
for that.
excited
That's
for-
one I'll be
yeah.
watching every week there. But what are you gonna say?
It's fun to have a show to watch every week like that, like a big show.
Mhm.
No, I was just gonna say Toy Story. Are you excited for the 5th one? Like after the 4th one, I'm cautiously like I don't know how I'm gonna feel about the 5th one. Like the first 3 are a perfect trilogy. So now with number 5, are you trying to redeem what you did with 4? We've all seen the trailer. Like, what are you excited, Eric, or cautiously like
Probably
owning cautious?
cautiously optimistic. I hope it's good, right? Because I do remember only seeing 4 the one time and wasn't too crazy about it. So I'm looking forward to rewatching, seeing if it is maybe a little better than I remembered. But yeah, I think 4 maybe a bit of a letdown, and hoping for a return to form with 5, and then maybe there's rumors of a 6th that could get done, and then that kind of closes out the saga, right? So looking forward to seeing where that goes. But I like the lily pad as a villain concept. I think is a good idea. It's topical, right? So
Right.
I am excited, honestly. I'm not gonna act like I'm just not looking forward to it for sure, but I just hope it's a solid movie. That's kind of what I hope out of it. Yeah.
That's fair. Same here. Like
But-
there was no way 4 was gonna be better than part 3, because that's like, to me that's the best one. But I can't wait to read your review on it eventually.
Yeah, I gotta watch number 3. I've only seen it once too, so that's one that
Really?
yeah. So
Can't wait to see like through fresh lenses what you think of the movie.
yeah, that was 16 years ago. So
That's crazy.
half my
I
lifetime
don't.
ago, for God's sake. So I'm a different
That's
person and then
insane.
some. So
Yeah.
yeah, crazy.
I love reading through like new like as an adult, Eric, you rewatching Toy Story 1 and 2 and like what you
Mhm.
got out of it, and it's making me want to rewatch them too. I have them all, like I own the physical copies too. I know it's all on Disney Plus, but like I might have to go through those two before the fifth one. So easy to watch. I haven't seen the first one since I was like a teenager, so
it's
yeah.
it's such a just like brings you back to as a kid
Mhm.
watching like 1 and 2 for sure. 3, I'm not gonna have that. It'll bring me back to when I saw in the theater with my family, but I don't have a strong attachment at all to 3. 4, it'll be Andy and I saw in theaters, kind of same thing. We just watched it together and we're both kind of a little disappointed, but 1 and 2 is big time. Brings me back to
Mhm.
being a kid, rooting for Zurg. I
Yeah.
was never a Sid
Yeah.
guy. Think like you're an absolute sicko if Sid was your hero as a villain person. You just can't root for
Yes.
that scumbag. Same with, again, like I said in my review, Stinky Pete, Al. Like, what are we doing here? Al literally stole from Andy's mom at the yard sale.
Yeah.
Anyways, just a dirt bag of a human being. And then Stinky Pete. I mean, you can understand Stinky Pete's motivation, seeing as he was
Yeah.
always just kept in packaging, and he got to a point where he's like, hell, I've got to just step out of this box and take care of business, stand on business for once myself. But no, 1 and 2 are classics, and I'm excited to rewatch 3 and 4. But yeah, that's kind of all I got really for now, and I think for our next episode, should have more to recommend, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I just have. I'm on the third book in the Greenbone trilogy
Oh, nice.
that Riley recommended, previous guest. It's really good. So, like the first two books were great, and the third one's just as good. They're long books, but it's a trilogy, so I'm closing it out right now, and I'm enjoying reading it on my Kindle. Super easy to read. So yeah, the third book of that. I'm really big into reading more and more as the year's going on, Eric. So I can't wait to discuss what we've read for the year at the end of the year. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, I gotta get back on that horse, honestly. I have this book, Dungeon Crawler Carl,
Heard of
which I'm
it.
not sure. Have you read this?
I've heard of it. I heard it's good.
Yeah, so that's a popular series right now, Dungeon Crawler Carl. So I'm gonna read that and hopefully have some thoughts on that at some point later this year. But yeah, no, I gotta get back on that horse for sure. The anime is taking up too much of my time. But yeah, so looking forward to discussing that further on down the road. But yeah, Matt, a lot of fun to go over some summer stuff, recommendations more geared for this episode rather than what we've been doing. So yeah, a lot of fun. Any final notes for the listeners?
So thank you everybody for listening to the episode. I hope you enjoyed our summer talk and you got some recommendations out of there. And definitely shoot us some more if you want to message us after the episode and let us know. And enjoy your summer, everyone. And we thank you for listening to the podcast.
Well said, Matt. So yeah, thanks a lot, everybody, for listening. Stay tuned for episodes dropping every 2 Mondays. Continue to enjoy your summer activities. Get in those crowds. Get those elbows out, and just push your way to the meat stand. And yeah, peace.